been a very unexpected week in theme park news, because not only did Universal Studios Orlando finally announce their huge new coaster in place of Rip Ride Rockets, with the now announced name of it completely throwing everyone off, and not only were two very exciting new coasters announced for Europe that both have their own complications, but a theme park here in the UK has also announced the name of their new roller coaster, and I think it's also thrown everyone completely off. All of it's so surprising, isn't it? Because all that and even more has happened this past week in theme parks. Yes, welcome back to the series that is so consistent, it might be illegal. This past week in theme parks, where we take a look at the news in the past week at theme parks. No, really. And today's episode, just like any other week, has been a busy one. So be sure you watch till the end so you don't miss any of this crazy news, and be sure to subscribe to the channel as well if you haven't already, as it'll really help out on the way to 150,000 subscribers. But anyway, on to the news, because that's why you're here, I assume. And because there's so much news, the best way to cover all of it without being here for a millennium is, of course, with the quickfire news segment. Here we go. Now, the first stop on our Tupperwupperter round trip is actually Asia. So let me quickly travel there now. I've travelled there, where there seems to be quite a lot of funny stuff happening. But first, Chimelong Qingwan International Forest in China is adding a well-landscaped mine train roller coaster this year, with these construction walls appearing at the park. Tianjin Shushang Park in China as well has had track arrive for a brand new Jinma 6 Inversion coaster. Judging by that manufacturer's previous work, it's either going to be quite good or absolutely terrible. This roller coaster, called Roller Coaster at Ankang Happy World, is now being removed, as you can see here. What was that sound? That sounded so cheap. Like a PVC pipe hit the ground. An Alpine-esque coaster called Furnace Rush at Grand Canal Hangzhou Steel Park has just started testing. What on earth is that? If this was a proper Alpine coaster, you know for a fact I'm going all the way down those drops just with the brake off. Although I did just call it an Alpine coaster, not Alpine, so maybe I do need to go down it at full pelt. To match all seemingly normal news, over at Shanghai Disneyland, they have had track delivered for the brand new Spider-Man roller coaster, coming very soon to that park, although this is Disney, so it might be another 10 years. I'm excited to see that go up. Over in Australia now, I don't know how I've just transitioned that, but there we go. It was listed under my Asia news for some reason. Shows how good my knowledge is. Dreamworld in Australia have announced that Moto Coaster will be closing on the 2nd of February. And having known nothing about this coaster, I thought it was just some generic Vekoma booster bike. Turns out it's actually an Intamin straddle coaster themed to motorbikes. It's my first time hearing about it the moment it closed, which is quite funny. But there's also been loads of announcements coming at us from Europe, because Bellewaerde in France have announced some brand new rides and attractions coming in 2026. This year, including what looks to be a nice little restaurant area, a nice little play area, and they keep building these things everywhere. An ART Wild Swing. Jokes aside, it actually does look really well themed. Timber Swing. So I'm looking forward to seeing it. And I said they were popping up everywhere because Schwaben Park in Germany is also getting one this year, called Turbo Tony's. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that last word, and that is now set to open in summer of 2026. Going back to France quickly, Parc Asterix have been busy destroying their huge Love Tower iconic piece of architecture to make way for the brand new Londinium area coming soon. Over at Disneyland Paris, they have actually closed Flight Force in the Avengers campus area. Not for good or for a massive refurbishment, sadly, but for a small refurbishment until the 23rd of January. They've also opened annual pass previews for the brand new World of Frozen coming to Adventure World. So many worlds, some of which have sold out already, so if you are an annual pass holder, go and book that now, I reckon. And if you're planning on booking the opening day, you can't, because it's fully sold out. And I don't just mean annual pass holders on that one. Over in Belgium, Plopsaland have decided to release a concept art for a brand new restaurant coming soon as well. In the Netherlands, Efteling are busy building their brand new drop towers just outside of Baron 1898. Gone from reporting on the world's tallest drop tower opening last week to the smallest drop towers being constructed this week, and they've even just announced a brand new Fairytale coming to the Fairytale Forest. And we've also had 2 new roller coasters announced across 2 different parks, and they both have their own little problems. First of which, a brand new Mack roller coaster opening at this theme park on screen right now appears to actually be named Supersonic Train, and you can see the logo of it right there. I kind of like that name. And this is set to be a Mack Stryker roller coaster. I love how these things are popping up everywhere. but that problem still prevails. Is it a Stryker or a Big Dipper? There was that whole debate when Vina Looping and Helios were being built last year, and one could assume we might see the same with Supersonic Train. But at least we do know, factually, what's coming to Gronaland in Sweden, because of course they did have to remove Jetline, their old Schwarzkopf coaster, after a really sad accident took place a couple years ago. There have been plans uncovered for a brand new Gerstlauer Airtime coaster to be built in its place and to share the support of the Wild Mouse coaster that shared the support of Jetline. You might be wondering, if they destroyed Jetline, what does that mean for the Wild Mouse? Because is it just floating now? Well, they actually have had to close the Wild Mouse coaster, and that's going to reopen in 2027 along with this brand new coaster, if it goes ahead, which I definitely think it will. And it'll be similar to Mechlodon at Wallaby Belgium, which we need to see more of them in the world because they're so good. Bring one to the UK right now. And speaking of bringing Gerstlauer coasters to the UK, as much as last week we lost one to France, Paultons Parc have let us know that one is staying. Cobra, their Gerstlauer bobsled coaster, is turning into Raven, if you somehow didn't know. And I did find it quite funny when they released a trailer for the brand new ride coming this year, or brand new renovated ride, same thing. And it was done in some proper Avengers movie trailer style trailer. I don't get why they did it, but it's so good. And even in there, we saw a first look at Raven's trains. Very, very nice to see, along with a brand new announcement made by Crealy down in Devon. And they are actually bringing 2 brand new rides to the UK, which we kind of already knew about. One of which being Pirates Plummet, a huge SBF Visa drop tower that has literally come from Paultons, right next to where Raven is, which is weird. And all we knew of the other ride was that it was going to be the first upside down ride in the southwest. And we've now found out that that will be called Rota, and it's going to be a Zamperla air race, which really caught me off guard. I thought it was actually going to be some sort of gyro swing or something like that. But to see another air race come to the UK, why not, you know? It just made me really sad when I saw the video announcing them and it was all AI generated. Why? Get someone to actually film something. It's so lazy. Luckily though, Alton Towers had our backs. They didn't use it for this promo image of their brand new roller coaster coming to CBeebies Land, now called Bluey the Ride. Here Come the Grannies. And hang on a minute, I actually remember saying that it could be called Here Come the Grannies as a joke, to be fair. But now it is officially called that. It's one of the longest coaster names we have in the UK, only rivaling Hagrid's Magical Creature Motorbike Adventure for the world title. And that now makes another granny-themed ride coming to Alton Towers. If I had £1 for every single granny-themed ride at Alton Towers, I would have £3. And that's not a lot, but it's weird it happened 3 times. Bluey, Gangster Granny, and then Jojo and Gran Gran. What's going on? What are they going to do next? Wicker Gran? That's going to be epic. And talking of epic, there's a park in the USA called Epic Universe that had something quite big happen at it. So I'll get onto that in a bit. But I guess whilst we're here in the USA now, there were previews held for Legoland California's brand new roller coaster, Galacticoaster, not to be confused with Galactica at Alton Towers, I'm going to say that every time. Also in California at Disneyland, Star Wars Galaxy's Edge is going to be getting a brand new background music loop by John Williams. Better late than never, eh? Dotting around to some other parks quickly, Busch Gardens Williamsburg has had new documents come out regarding the extensive The Bolton Forbidden Turn re-theme. There seems to be a lot going on. Shout out to BGW fans. They literally find everything somehow. Animatronics and everything, that's going to be very nice. Carowinds have released a teaser for a brand new ride that nobody knows what it is. In the caption saying, "Did you hear? Something is out there. Hashtag what's in the woods." Oh no, not this again. What's in the shed? Intrigued to see whether that's just that water ride they were planning or something completely different. And as with the story of most weeks, Universal has topped the news once again. Is it Universal UK again? Is it Universal Saudi Arabia? No, because our top 2 stories come in from Orlando. The first of which coming from Epic Universe and specifically Stardust Racers. Because if you remember all those many months ago when the park was first testing and had people in the park, it was captured that one side of Stardust Racers did actually stall in a valley section. Maybe it didn't have enough speed, maybe it was too windy. Well, it's happened again, but somehow on both sides at the same time. Luckily, no one was on it, even though if there were, it wouldn't be unsafe. It's just completely safe. It's just going to take a while for them to get off. They have been able to leave the ride for a little while and then crane off the cars individually and put them back in the maintenance bay, I'd assume. The ride did shut for a couple days after that happened, but I'm assuming it will reopen at some point very soon because we're kind of used to a roller coaster valleying here in our country. There's also a Mack ride, and that gets sorted pretty quickly. So hopefully, Universal can get that sorted as well. I am intrigued. When Monsters Unchained was shut for some time, they just stuck a game of cornhole outside. Will the cornhole or Connect 4 Championship come back, this time to the outside of Stardust? We'll just have to wait and see. As we will have to wait and see what the Studios Park is up to, because a brand new roller coaster has finally been acknowledged and announced, with the name of the ride, what the ride's going to do, and also the stats of a singular element all being revealed. I'm going to go through it all now. So basically, they teased this video right here, a speedometer. Oh, look, it's going up in speed. Is it getting to 88? Great Scott, it might be. Everyone was very excited to see what they were going to announce on the 20th of Jan as they started painting the construction walls in that section of the park all black. But then the 20th of January came and we saw the announcement come through. It was a black start with a car driving past. Oh, it's called Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift. So we've already got Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift being built in Hollywood. And now we've got Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift being built in Orlando. I think it just surprised everyone because a lot of people thought it was going to be Ghostbusters or Back to the Future. And everyone that did think it was going to be Fast and Furious thought it might have a bit of a different name. But no, they're still calling it Hollywood Drift. But that doesn't mean the coaster layout is going to be the same. Because as much as they've already said that the ride is going to have that 360-degree rotation to it when you're drifting, and have all these twists and turns, feeling like you are in a Fast and Furious chase, like a car, whatever, there is one stat that has been released about a singular element that shows you it's not going to be the same ride. And that is the fact it is going to have a 170-foot tall spike. Now, funnily enough, the Hollywood version originally looks like it was supposed to have a spike, and now it doesn't, whereas the Orlando one now does. And I do think this is going to be a highlight of the ride, especially if some of the cars are up there spinning and drifting. Oh, it's going to be insane. And I am intrigued to see if they go for maybe different cars on that train, whether they'll go for a layout that is slightly more indoors, or even if this is just the run-up towards Back to the Future opening in the UK, because the layout in the Universal UK concept art, if it's anything to go by, oh my god, I pray that coaster still gets built. And yes, there's been loads of concern as to why a Hollywood Drift coaster is in the New York section of the park and in Orlando. I guess Universal's excuse is that it literally replaced a ride called Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket, and they'll end that debate there. And probably the best outcome that came with this announcement of the coaster, Universal Orlando are closing Fast and Furious Supercharged in 2027 when this thing is supposed to open. I think anyone that was upset by the news of it being Fast and Furious was just happy that it's getting rid of that ride. I mean, it opened in 2018, so that's a really short run for a ride to do. So could we see that bus system inside that ride building being used for something else? It's right next to the Harry Potter area of Diagon Alley. Could they do a night bus style ride? I don't know, we'll have to wait and see, but I'm very excited to see what Hollywood Drift in Orlando is like. And if you are excited too, then be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you can stay up to date on all things happening, not just in Universal, but all across the world. So much news happens every week, and I'm sure I'll see you next week for even more. Goodbye!